here. How y'all been doing? Can't see nobody comments. Let me know if y'all commenting because I don't see nobody comments yet. Okay, I see a comment. Hey y'all, what's up? People is so crazy, man. I'm talking about. I don't even know where to start. I don't even know where to start. These people are so crazy. Um, one, I've been on here. I done got all type of drug tests and everything since I don't know how long, and even in the amateurs, I was tested year round by USADA and WADA. And now all of a sudden, they are talking about that I had 3.4 nanograms of weed in my system, which isn't even a quarter of one puff of weed. So one puff of weed, I think, is when you, right? And I guess you inhale a bullshit or whatever. I don't even know how to do that. But what they're saying is I didn't even do that. I did a weed is what they is what they're saying. Or you want to put it in layman's terms, marijuana. So let's start from the beginning. So let's start from the beginning. I don't know. It was crazy. So let's start from the beginning. February February 2nd is when I fought. The test took place, the saliva test took place 40 minutes after my fight. So I've been in the ring. I've walked out the ring. I've hugged and kissed I don't know how many fucking people, but whatever. Took a saliva test. The thing broke out my mouth. Whatever, whatever. You took it on my here. How y'all been doing?
Okay, so Claressa Shields tests positive for marijuana after her fight. She says she don't smoke weed, never have smoked weed, and the amount that was found in her system from a saliva test was equivalent to a puff, one little puff of weed, and she had been suspended to further due as a result of this being investigated. Now let's talk about some things because she's concerned about this and this bothers her. And according to her, she never smoked marijuana in her life. And all while she's been a boxer, she had been tested like yearly around the clock. Uh, well, not around the clock, but yearly, every time. And I'm just gonna be honest with you. I believe her. I'm gonna tell you a lot of reasons why I believe her, even though at the same time you can't get around the test saying you tested positive for marijuana. And why that's so against the boxing rules. Well, let's take it from the smallest and climb up. One of the reasons why marijuana is against the rules when it comes to boxing is because it gives the boxer an advantage. For the most part, uh, one of the reasons is they look at marijuana as a sedating substance by which it calms you, relaxes your nerves, and humbles anxiety to some degree. They believe, and that is an advantage when it comes to sports. When you see most people be nervous, the anxiety be real high, and that plays a part in sports. That keeps the playing ground even to the point where uh, if you're using it, you don't have the advantage. Because when you play in sports, every second counts to some degree. Everything is being documented. Records are being broken as a result of time. And if you have an advantage because you was able to calm your nerves and humble your anxiety, and you were more relaxed than somebody else who's nervous and excited and can't calm down, that gives you the advantage. Not that it gives you an advantage when it comes to giving you strength, because it don't, but it gives you the advantage in that area. So I understand it, and it's part of the rules for everybody. Now, again, she said there was only a small amount that they found in her system. and she don't understand or know how it really even got there. That's why when you just hearing her talking like this, she like, look, so I was tested after the fight, so I'm going back and forth, basically people smoking and stuff, and I'm kissing and hugging people who probably are smokers and stuff. So she don't have a clue where it's coming from. And I'm just gonna tell you, to some degree, this actually plays a part in it. Papoose is a weed smoker. Papoose smoke weed. That is your boyfriend. It's in his system. If he's having sex with you, and I hate to be so graphic, but I'm just gonna be real. If he's having sex with you, and you're giving him head and you swallowing and he busting inside of you, again, don't mean to be so graphic, people, but I'm just giving it in a raw. His marijuana levels can go inside of your body, and it will go inside of your body. You know what's crazy? I was watching a documentary on Pamela Greer, Foxy Brown, the original Foxy Brown back in the Jim Brown and Richard Pryor days. And I didn't know that she was in a relationship with Richard Pryor. And they were saying that she was actually in the medical field as a nurse. And she ended up getting suspended because they found drugs in her system. And she didn't do drugs. She didn't do crack and stuff like that. But Richard Pryor was doing it. And he was having sex with her. And he, by him, coming inside her and whatever they was doing, it went in her system. And when she was tested at her job, she was suspended because the test came back positive. And she didn't know how it happened like that because she didn't do drugs. And it was because Richard Pryor did. And he was having sex with her. So it was in her system. When you're having sex with people, you take on their DNA. This is what the Bible says in 1 Corinthians chapter 6, I believe, 6 or 7. It says that do not join yourself with a whore. For do you not know when you join yourself with her, you become one soul. You are transferring DNA into one another. And why, when you understand these things, you want to be careful who you opening your body up to. And it's amazing how sometimes in our ignorance, we have to find out the hard way. And I believe in this situation, this is what happens and why she's not able to put a finger on it or where it might have came from. Because in her ignorance, she don't get. If you're laying down with a guy who smoked a lot of weed, and let me tell you something, look at the different strands of weed that's out here. There's a lot of different strands of weed out here, and they got all type of things on there, and the potency is different in a lot of ways. And 9 times out of 10, y'all got that money. So Papoose probably smoking the highest grade A weed, and it's so strong. And they even talking about they have found fentanyl on weed now. So look at what they doing to try to come up with ways to make y'all get super higher. Now again, I believe her. I believe that she don't smoke weed. I believe that she got a lot weighing on her. She's a black woman who's undefeated, the champion of the world. She got like 6, 7 belts. So she know to walk careful. She know not to do these things because they're going to want to find anything against her to discredit her, to put a stain on her record, to actually hurt everything she worked for and build on. In her ignorance, she just probably didn't know that. And Papoose probably didn't know it neither, if that's the case. So let me just say allegedly. But 9 times out of 10, that's where to point to. When you know that your guy smoked weed. And this weed out here is entirely different. It's so many different grades of it. It's not funny. So many different grades. It's like a damn chocolate factory. It's like the damn, what they call that? The ice cream 31 flavor, 300 flavor, whatever they call that. It's like that. And I know she's frustrated and bothered by it because of how that actress is now attached to her record and all her works. I remember this when we was in the dope game. And I remember so many guys when I was in prison was getting violated and sent back to prison as a result of testing positive for drugs, who didn't do drugs, but because they touched the cocaine, because they touched the weed, breaking it up and bagging it up and, you know, cooking the cocaine, whipping it up while the steam coming. Because that's the thing we didn't know. We didn't know about that. We didn't know touching the cocaine was going in our pores. We didn't understand that. We'll just take the crack, chop it up with the razor blade, putting it in bags, but it's touching your skin, going in your pores. I remember I used to watch New Jack City now when I was a drug dealer and things like that. They'll be having a mask and they're dealing with the cocaine and stuff. I didn't know really what that was all about. So as an ignorant drug dealer, I used to be cooking the dope over the stove, whipping up the powder, turning it into crack so I could sell it to my customers while all the steam going up in my face. I'm calling it steam, but it's actually really cocaine. So it's going in my system and I don't even know it. I don't even know it. It's crazy how you find out about things after you hurt yourself from it. And I believe this is the situation right here. Same situation. He busting all up inside you. He's smoking that weed around you, and whoever else might be smoking the weed around you. You know what I'm saying? And they don't know. Let's just be honest. They don't really know. They're not even thinking that that's the case. All in the car, riding around. I remember that's how I used to be. I used to I don't smoke weed, but you know what's crazy? I like the smell of it. I don't smoke weed, but I like the smell of weed. Ain't that something? But I don't smoke it. Now I puffed the blunt like I puffed a blunt like one time in my life. Never wanted to do it again. I just didn't care about that stuff. You know the things about drugs for the most part and liquor and stuff, you have to force yourself to actually like it like that. For far from what I know. Now I don't know the effect of what crack and all that stuff do and heroin. I don't know what that do. But for the most part, when it comes to weed, when I puffed it, I was like, ooh, this is so good. Let me keep doing that. No, it burnt my chest. It didn't feel right. So I didn't want to do it no more. When it came to liquor, I tried drinking liquor before. I tried sipping on some hard liquor before, and it tasted nasty. And didn't want to do it again. But some people force themselves to finish it, force themselves to the point that it becomes natural to them. Not me. Once I tasted it, it wasn't good. I don't want to taste it no more. Once I puffed the blunt, felt it, don't want to do it no more. You know? But I believe her. I believe her. And I believe that she's telling the truth. That she don't smoke weed. And she got a lot. Man, look, I watched Claressa Shields. I watched all her fights. I like this woman. You know what I'm saying? And she know. She been fighting the uphill battle her whole career. She know that she's targeted. There's a radar on her. For the most part of being, again, a black woman successful like this, you dominating, you don't have none of these flaws on you, you know what I'm saying? And you fighting for your respect, you know what I'm saying? And your name getting bigger and bigger. So no, she don't want that on her. And yes, it does bother her. She's frustrated by it because it's like, dang, I've been working my whole life to not have none of this. Why now? And that could be the case. But I believe her. And I don't know. I don't know, but like I said, if your boyfriend, if your boyfriend actually maybe if your boyfriend may be doing marijuana and having sex with you, it can get in your system. So I don't know, sis. I know you going through all this stuff. You like, no, test me. I don't do drugs. Yeah, you don't have to do it. Your boyfriend doing it, who's busting you down. And I believe that's where it comes from. And I believe that's where it may come from. And people being around you. Like you said, only a little bit was in your system. Because you're not in direct use of it. But for those who may be around you doing it, and those who and your man who you getting having sex with, that may have done it. With that being said, I believe you, sis. But what I say don't count.